Hello and welcome to this week's West Norfolk Sports Podcast. The special guest on our 19th show is Gary Mills. He's a former Football League and professional footballer who is now playing in the non-league game on loan at Kings Lynn Town. The 32-year-old has played for a host of clubs during his career, so rather than splitting this into a two-part special and mentioning them all, we'll just focus on a few, starting with Coventry City. Started at Coventry as a kid and eventually worked your way over to Rushden and Diamonds, where arguably you had probably your most successful spell. You helped Rushden to the Football League. Was that still one of your best memories in football?
Yeah, it was, to be honest. I was lucky enough to be part of that football club through the good and the bad times, really. But helping the football club into the Football League was a dream for the chairman at the time, Mr. Max Griggs. And it was a dream for the fans. So yeah, it holds a major part in my heart, to be honest.
So you played as a pro in the Football League with Rushden, won the old Division 3. Must have been a fantastic time with some great teammates, but also going into work every day and calling football your job must have been a lifelong dream for you.
Yeah, it was, mate. To be honest, it's a terrific football club, and it had some great people there behind the scenes and as lads. But as you said, going to work and living a lot of people's dreams. That, don't get me wrong, there's probably better players out there that never managed to do that. So, as you said, I'm very lucky and very grateful for what that football club gave to me.
You dislocated your ankle while you were there, and then Rushden got relegated back to the conference. They were some of the bad times during what had happened at the club. And then obviously Rushden folded, and it was a place where you had three spells. It must have been difficult for you to see a club that you've probably grown to love to fold and have to reform.
Yeah, it was. I've played there, as you said, went about 3 times under 3 different managers. Obviously Brian Talbot, Graham Wesley and Justin Edinburgh, who are both in the Football League now. So yeah, it's good to be part of the bad times there, and obviously I played in that last season where they got promoted and went bankrupt. So as I said, I had some high and low times there, but the highs will always outweigh the lows because I had such good times there.
And do you, now that it's been reformed, much like Kings Lynn Town that were Lynn, we'll talk about that a little bit later, do you keep up to date with how AFC Rushden and Diamonds are doing?
Yes, always look at their Twitter feeds, see how they're getting on. When I got injured at the end of last year with Lincoln City, their chairman emailed me and was kind enough to offer me the services of the physio in the club, and just said that I'm always welcome back there. So I always keep my eye out for them. I always will do, because I've said I owe that football club a lot, and I'll never think I'm too big for that.
You've obviously played a large part in their success over the years, and they've played a large part in your career. In between spells at Rushden, you went to Tamworth, where your namesake was boss, but let's just say the less said about that one, the better.
Yes,
that was obviously
didn't enjoy that one bit. Let's put it that way. No, that was a match made in hell.
It was, yeah. It was a very high-profile exit for you. You eventually sort of found your way over at Stevenage, under Graham Wesley again, where you had an FA Trophy win. That's got to rank in one of your highlights as well. Yeah, it is.
As I said, I've been quite lucky, to be fair. Everywhere I've gone, I don't know if that's timing or whether I'm not a bad footballer. It's the case of, as I said, I went there and we lost in the playoff semi-final against Cambridge. Then we went to Wembley and won Wembley and won the FA Trophy. So that was in within a space of a week. We lost at Cambridge, then went to Wembley. So that was a bit of a high and low. But yeah, as I said, it's Graham Wesley. He's another one who's been very good to me. Took me back to Rushden, then took me to Stevenage. So I'm grateful to all the people that played a big part in my career.
Picked up a knee injury when you were at Nuneaton, and from then for a couple of years you have struggled with injuries, to be fair. Was that the start of things catching up with your body?
Yeah, it is, to be honest. And they've all been quite serious injuries. I've never had niggly injuries. They've all been quite serious. I did my medial ligament at Nuneaton. I was out for 3.5 months. Come back, we got promoted to the conference by a playoff win, which was another proud moment for me. Then I went to Lincoln, signed there, been made captain, enjoying my time there. Then did my posterior cruciate just after Christmas, the 29th. So he said that there've been injuries that are quite serious, and not been little niggly calf injuries or hamstrings. They've been quite serious injuries. So yeah, it does take its toll on your body. Well, I'll be lying if I said it didn't, but I just want to enjoy my football now and hopefully stay injury free and enjoy it.
You're 32 now. You are owned per se by Boston United. You're over on loan at Kings Lynn Town in the Evo Stick Premier Division. For a start, you came on a loan spell for a 3-month period, and that one got off to a flyer up until about the 30th minute, a cracking debut against Grantham, and then you got crocked again. And I suppose that was the point you thought, what else can go wrong for me at the minute?
The way I felt at that time was I was in a dark place, to be fair, because I thought I was just never going to put a run of games together. So it was just a case of getting my head down. The manager, Setch, was good with me. He said that I could have got to Boston, but he wanted me around the lads. He wanted me to stay in amongst it. So I was very grateful for that. Then, as I said, I went back to Boston, and that was it really.
You soon found yourself back over at the Walks again, where you are until the end of the season. You've now made 18 appearances in the yellow of Kings Lynn Town. You've started the last 2 games, which is significant in the fact that one was Saturday and one was Tuesday. With regards to yourself, do you really now feel that Lynn fans are starting to see the best of Gary Mills and you're starting to find your feet again?
If I'm brutally honest, no. I think I'm 50% fit, match fit. I'm probably half a stone overweight, which I'm doing something about. So if you want me to be brutally honest, I don't think they are. I think I need to get games, I need to train hard, and then hopefully they'll see the best of me. But if you're asking me, are they seeing the best of me now, then I'll say no. So
they're not seeing the best of you now, but the best of Gary Mills, hopefully an injury-free Gary Mills for you and everyone, is definitely yet to come as the season progresses.
Yeah, well, if you look at the games, we've got games Saturday, Saturday, Wednesday. So hopefully in 3 or 4 games, then hopefully I'll be up to full speed, and then hopefully people can judge me on what I'm doing then. But at the minute, I think the manager would agree that I'm 50, 55% maybe fit. But the only way of getting fit is playing games and training hard.
Well, for somebody who's only 50% fit, you're certainly not doing too bad. There seems from the outside that you're very happy at Lynn. I know you're there temporarily on loan, but there's a lot of good lads there. Players have come in with good reputations like David Bell, Jake Jones. You just look very, very happy whenever you're around the Walks.
I am. And the major factor of that is the chairman, the staff at the football club, the manager, the assistant manager, the first team coach, the people behind the bar. They make me and my family feel very welcome, and that goes a long way in anyone's book. And as I said, I'm very happy at the football club. They make my son feel very welcome. He's always on the pitch having a kick around, and the lads have been unbelievable with me, to be fair. They make me feel very welcome in the changing room. So no, I can't speak highly enough of everyone associated with the football club.
And you've said that your role is to start showing the best for yourself, but as a side and a club, top 5, is that still the overall aim, or is it a chance over the last sort of week or so just to take stock and realise how quickly the club has moved forward, and maybe the top 5 may be a little bit too difficult, but you'll keep fighting for it anyway?
While we're in with a shout, we'll give it our best, and wherever we end up, we can look at each other in the eye, and we can look at the manager and say, to be fair, we give it our best shot, and this is where we've ended up. Wherever that be, we don't know. If it's in the top 5, excellent. If we just miss out, then at least we can look at each other and say, well, we give it our best shot, and we're not cheated anybody, and the fans have had a good run for their money, and we repay them because they travel away on the Tuesday nights and back us at home. So as long as we can look at each other in the eye and say we give it our best, and fans see that the lads are trying to do the best, then I don't think no one can argue with that.
You've still got a little bit of football time in your career, but obviously you're not 20 now, you're 32. You're a UEFA B qualified coach, work for Northampton Town, couple of roles there with them. Is that where you see your life going once you have to hang your boots up? Yes,
I want to go down that route, but that's not for a good 3 or 4 years yet. I've missed a lot of football during my career, and I want to make up for it by playing and being out there. I think you're a long time retired. Neil Fright says it all the time to me, like, you're a long time retired, and I totally agree with him. I don't want to go down that route just yet. I'm dipping my toes in with the football club at Northampton, and I obviously do want to go down that route in the longer term. But for now, I'm concentrating on playing football.
And if the future's not going to see Gary Mills on the football pitch, obviously you are getting older. It's a fact of life, I'm afraid.
Cheers,
What about Harley Mills? Because he seems to be coming across like a very good player. He's at Aston Villa, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah, he's all right. He's all right. he's all right. I'm quite harsh on him.
Is he better than you at his age currently?
Yes, he's probably better than me than I am now. He's not bad. He's technically very good. He's not bad. He's as you said, he's at Aston Villa. He plays a year up. He's played with them for the last 18 months. And he hasn't struggled, to be fair to him. And I hope he won't be listening to this because he'd be thinking that I'm giving him a bit too much praise. But he's not bad, to be fair. He's a great lad. He's my best mate, and we bounce off each other. But yeah, he's not bad. He's not bad, to be fair to him.
And what position does Harley play in?
He plays left wing. So he's got all his skills and his left foot from me.
Right, that seems like a right point to move to the next part of the podcast, which is a section that we call 10 Questions With. It is, as it says on the tin, I'm going to get any awards for thinking up with a category name because it is literally 10 questions. Yeah. So it's a little bit to get to know a bit more about Gary Mills. We'll start off with a simple question. What persuaded you to get into the sport of football?
Nothing persuaded me. I think it's just in you, to be honest, mate. I think it's just in you, and from when you was a kid and you're kicking the ball around at the garages, it's just all I ever wanted to be. And I think there's millions and millions of kids that had the same dream, but I was just lucky enough to fulfil that. And it wasn't about what you get paid or how much you get paid. You're actually getting paid for a sport that you love. And I think a lot of people have got to realise that it is a sport that you would go and pay £2 subs, or there is lads going down on a Sunday morning paying to play. So for have the opportunity of playing and getting paid for it is an added bonus. Like you said, it's just in you, and I think when you leave the game, it'll still be in you. That's why people go on and manage and coach, and they'll have the bug for it. So as I said, no one persuaded me. I think it's just in you.
Who is your sporting idol?
Sporting idol, it's a tough one because an idol. I'd say not many people. Maybe you would have not heard of him. Brian Talbot, my old manager at Rushton. He's a sporting idol. What he did for my career and the opportunity he gave me, I can't repay him enough. He'll always be gaffer to me because the amount of respect I've got for him. He's an absolute legend in my eyes.
If you could change anything about football, what would it be?
What would it be? Maybe a quota of foreign players in each club. I think if you could have a quota of 4 or 5 or whatever the quota would be, I think for the younger players and the better quality players, I think they'd have more of a chance in the higher divisions.
Question 4: what is your biggest passion away from sport?
Family. My son, as I said, he's my best mate. My partner Nicola, she's been with me through thick and thin, and we've had our ups and downs, but my family is number one to me.
Here's one that, obviously on a family-friendly show, we have to make sure is watered down slightly, but what was your most embarrassing moment? And this can be on the football pitch, off the football pitch, any particular moment that you thought, oh, Millsy, I've made myself look like a right tool?
It was on the football pitch, to be fair. The ball's gone up in the air, and there's a wet Sheffield Wednesday, a packed house at Hillsborough. The ball's bounced, and I've caught the ball. I don't know what went through my head. I just caught the ball in the middle of the pitch, and to be fair, the referee looked at me, laughed, and didn't book me. And I was like, oh, fair play to you. But that was probably the most thing I look back and think, what was I doing? Bit of a strange one, but yeah.
It is, yeah, definitely. I can't imagine too many people's embarrassing moments come in front of the best part of 30,000 people. Question 6.
As I said, it was a bit of a strange one.
Indeed. Question 6. What item could you not live without?
I'm going to be boring people here, but apart from my family, I'd say my phone. I get a lot.
I thought you might say your phone.
My phone. I'm always on Twitter. I'm always looking at my phone, checking. My partner goes mad. She's forever saying to put your phone down and to relax. But yeah, I'll say my phone. I do get itchy fingers if I haven't got it with me.
And it's probably going to sound a bit rich coming from me when I've sort of done 25,000 odd tweets, but you do like a tweet, don't you?
I do, mate. Yeah, I do. I think it's great. You've got to be careful. Well, you've got to be careful what you put on there sometimes. But yeah, people, and don't get me wrong, I get a lot of abuse on there. I get a lot of hatred. I just take it with a pinch of salt. I'll just get on with it and have a bit of fun with it. And I think people get too wound up on the Twitter thing, and I think it's got to take it for what it is, and it's a bit of fun, bit of interaction with people, and that's it, really.
Cool. We're moving through these pretty swiftly. Where is your dream holiday destination?
With the missus or without?
Both, if you want.
With the missus, it would be Florida. Been there twice. We went there the first time. We got hooked, and we went back there, and it was amazing. Without, Las Vegas. Been there with Stevenage, and they don't call it Sin City for no reason. It is unbelievable.
Yeah, I will. I've been once, and it's one of the best things I've ever done. So I would follow you on that front there, especially with the lads. Though I wouldn't say it's one to take the missus away.
No, exactly. That's what we went with the Stevenage lads after the FA Trophy win. They paid for us to go out there, so it was an experience to say the least.
Not a bad trip. Not a bad trip. Where was your last holiday?
Last holiday was in Turkey, Izmir. Went there last year on a family holiday. Very nice. Nice to chill out, and we're going Egypt this year, so that's all booked, ready to go. Hopefully after a playoff win, we can shoot off an holiday and get the feet up.
Lovely jubbly. Question 9, what is your favourite and least favourite TV programme?
Favourite, I'd say, there's a few, mate, to be fair. You've obviously got the Match of the Days of this world, but then you've got the likes of Luther. I've enjoyed that, I thought it was very good. Homeland, I think you can't go wrong with them sort of programmes. EastEnders, Coronation Street, they don't do nothing for me, they're boring. I wouldn't even entertain any of them ones.
Okay, and the last one here on this 10 questions with, and you've probably mentioned that a little bit earlier, but we'll just end with what is your current sporting aim?
Sporting aim, just playoffs. If we can sneak in the playoffs, it would be brilliant. This sounds a bit busy, but hopefully I want to play a part in achieving something for the football club, whether that be with the young lads, improving them. Hopefully they take a bit of advice from me. I'll probably bore them with talking about football and shape and stuff like that. But if I can influence anyone, even if it's a 0.1% on the pitch, organise people and just enjoy my football and give my best.
The next part of the podcast is questions for Gary Mills from fans on his beloved social networking site Twitter. Had a little search underneath the hashtag Millsy. So here's the first one from Lord Milson85, who's Chris Milson. He said, Millsy has been responsible for helping bring in some players to the club. Is he really a secret footballer's agent?
I wish I was. Jeez, I wish I was. I wouldn't mind for a penny every time I've took a player to a football club or recommended somebody. No, I wouldn't recommend the club if I didn't think it was a good club. I wouldn't lie to people to get them to the club. That's not what I'm about. If I didn't enjoy it and someone rang me up and said, would you recommend going now? I'd say no, but I can't speak highly of the club. As I said, everyone, not just the manager or the chairman, everyone, the lady, the Sims, everybody just can't speak highly enough. So if we need a player and I'll ring them up and they say, is it worth coming? I would recommend it to anybody, to be honest.
I'm going to ask this next question through gritted teeth from Linnet 1976, Jamie Heathy. How much has he enjoyed winding up the Manchester United fans in the dressing room this season?
It's been brilliant. It has been brilliant. It's brilliant. Me, Quiggs, Jaylee, Neil. He's just class. You can't beat it, can you? Neil Fight gets absolute joy out of it. We buzz off it. And it makes it even better when the manager, David Moyes, is sticking there, and I think he's got a save. Honestly, I think he's brilliant.
Moving on swiftly.
And it made it even better on Tuesday night when we got our win at Drawsden and we walked in and Man United lost 2-0. It was class.
Oh, yeah, delightful. What a fantastic evening. We'll go on to J. Lee Jason, who's your teammate Jason Lee.
Yeah.
Ask Millsy about the hot seat. Belly is yet to play this yet. An event dreamed up by the original Skip. Is this able to be broadcast on a regional paper's website?
Yeah, we'll water it down a bit. What it was, we was driving to the meeting point, and we were sitting there at the car school, me, Bunce, Paulie, and we said, well, wouldn't it be good to have a hot seat and just air out your grievances with somebody, but not taking it personally? So we were like, yeah, okay then. So we'd all sit down, and they would go, right, Quiggs or Hawley first. So we'd go Hawley, and I can't remember who said it. Someone said, like, what really annoys me, Hawley, is your hair. Your lack of hair, and how you try to patch it up all the time. So basically, that was basically all you did was sit in a chair and got abused, and basically you had to take it. That was basically the hot seat.
Interesting. An event dreamed up by Richard Bunting.
Yeah, he shot there, Mr. Acid himself. He fought it up, and Belly's got to sit in there, so probably his hair will get a little bit of stick, because him and Hawley got a bit of a grudge at the minute. Who's got the worst hair and who's receding the most? So them two will probably, that's the only bit of tension in the camp at the minute. Them two arguing about who's boldest.
The next one is from at the Whitehouse 88, David Whitehouse. Could Gary see himself at Kings Lynn next season instead of returning to Boston?
Yes. I don't think it's any secret that if the manager wanted me at Boston, then he wouldn't have gone out on loan twice. So I don't think he wants me back there. So unless there's a major change, then I wouldn't see myself at Boston next season. It's nothing to do with the football club. The chairman's been good with me there. The fans were good with me when I signed. It's just a case of I think my days are numbered there. So yes, I could see myself at Kings Lynn if the manager wanted me. That's all down to him. I'm not sure. He hasn't spoke to me. He spoke to me a little bit, but he just said we'll play it by ear and see what happens. So I think just getting fit is the main thing. Then we'll take it from there.
Okay. At Linnet 1976, Jamie Heafy has come back in with another question, and I can say this one with an open mouth. How far does Gary feel Lynn can go as a football club?
It reminds me, I've said it to a few people, it reminds me of Nuneaton Town. When I signed there, it's exactly the same. I've got the same feel, same atmosphere in the changing room, same kind of manager. And I think it could replicate something like that. If this football club got on the roll and got promoted again, I don't think it would struggle in the conference. I really don't.
At Stevie Fisher 85, Stephen Fisher asks a very random question. What's the biggest animal you could throw over the crossbar? At Darren Eady reckons he can do a goat.
As you can see, I go to the gym quite a lot from a stature, so it'd have to be something big. Probably a cat. I think a cat would probably be. I think I'd just to manage a cat. I don't think there'd be much weasel arms. I don't think there'd be much heavier than that, to be honest. I'll probably go for a cat or a rabbit.
Cat or a rabbit. Okay. At XRISIW, and I've had to spell that because I haven't got a clue what it's meant to say, who's Christine Webb, says, is Andy Hall a woman and moans as much as he does at home?
To be fair, Hawley's quite quiet in the car school on the way to training and games. He sort of keeps himself to himself. I don't know if he's a bit, he's a bit quiet, he don't moan, he gets on with it really. I think they don't like the fact that I moan, because I do moan a lot. I moan on the pitch, off the pitch. He's fine, Hawley. Obviously his hair's a major problem, but apart from that, he's a good lad. And finally, at Chris Kilmore 38, who's Chris Kilmore, says, how does Gary feel about Ashley Timms joining him at Lynn? Good lad. Had our differences before, but like men, we shook hands and had a phone call and cleared the air. We felt someone was trying to get between us. Not a problem. Great lad, good keeper, good kicker, experienced, and I think he'd be a good acquisition to the football club.
Throwing out a little cliche here, we like to save the best till last. The last time, or the first time we did this, the teammates section, it was particularly popular. Tom James absolutely hammered his Wisbech Town teammates. I'm sure Gary Mills is going to revel in the same opportunity. Millsy, at any point, if you would like to nominate yourself for one of these 20 categories, feel free to do so. And by all means, please expand on your answers.
Yeah.
Who is the best trainer at Kings Lynn Town?
Best trainer. I'd say Streaky. I'd say Streaky. I'd say he gives it his all. He can kick it behind the stands now and again, but he gives it his all. Tries his best. As I said, sometimes he can lose the ball when he's shanking it over the stands.
That's Ryan Fry, yeah?
Yes, mate. Yeah.
Who is the worst trainer?
Robert Duffy. All he does is moan about throw-ins, gone out of play. He just moans and moans and moans. And if I was Neil or Ross, I'd have fell out of him by now. All he does is moan and moan and moan. Is
there anybody that pushes Duffers close, or is he that bad that he's easily the worst?
He's the worst. He's awful.
Okay. There's probably a few who could come in this category. Who's the most skillful at the walks?
Skillful? Jake Jones, Andy Hall, George Thompson, very technically good. Youngie is very, very good going forward. Belly, obviously, he's got the bags of ability, which you'd expect. No, we've got a few, to be fair. We're not bad in that department.
Anyone, if you had to put your head on the block?
Jake Jones.
Jake Jones, okay. And at the other side of the coin, who is the least skillful?
That's got to be between me, Quiggs, Clarkey, Duffers. To be fair, that sounds like we've got a bad team, doesn't it? Yeah, we ain't got no skills. We ain't got a step over between us, to be fair.
Which Clarkey? Is that Ryan or Ewan?
Say both of them. No, yeah, probably both, yeah.
Okay. Who's got the best banter?
Best banter. Team Zaff, I'd say. Without that, the change room would be dead. Team Zaff. That's the likes of me, Jay Lee, Quiggs, Hawley, and Belly.
Okay.
In fact, I'd go Quiggs.
You go Quiggs, okay.
Yeah.
Who's got the worst banter in the dressing room?
Worst banter. To be fair, Ryan Clark can send the glass eye to sleep, to be fair. He can send the glass eye to sleep. No, I mean, yeah. I'd say Clarkey. George Thompson's quiet. He's a quiet boy. He don't really get involved. So, but for banter, Clarkey.
Okay. Who is the quickest player?
Belly.
David Bell.
Yeah.
Is he even quicker over 100 yards than Jordan Young?
Yeah, I think he would be, yeah. That'd be a good race. I think Belly would just win it.
Okay, interesting. I thought you might have gone for Youngie for that one, but obviously Bell's more rapid than we realised sitting up in the stand.
Yeah, it's probably his hair. It's probably his hair that he don't look quick.
Who is the slowest?
Oh, jeez. Duffers. Me or Duffers I'd go for.
I was going to say, if you two had a 100-metre race, it would be there for a little while, wouldn't it?
If we had a 100-metre race, it'd probably finish at 1 minute 14. I think.
We'll go for Duffers again on that front if he's just going to be slightly slower than you.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. Near the halfway point now, who's the, and this can be the coaching staff as well by any means, but who's the brain box? Who's the most intelligent, the bookworm?
Clarkey, Ryan Clark. He's a geek. He's very intelligent. I think that's what makes him boring to me, because I don't get what he says after a time. But yeah, I'd say Clarkey's the most intelligent.
And, well, I imagine everybody who's listening to this...
Daniel Quigley.
There you go. So the next one was least intelligent. Is there anything, I've heard some great stories about Quiggs. Have you got anything that is family friendly that would just sum up I mean, he's such a lovable chap, but is there anything that would sum him up that he's just dim?
There's one, but I think that's borderline, so I'll go with the easy option. We played away at Grantham, I think it was, and the manager, Quicks played quite well, and their manager came up to him after and said, where you played, mate? And he went, up front, mate, I played up front. The manager was thinking, what clubs have you played for, and where have you been about a bit, and he took it as, where did you play on the pitch? So I'll probably say that's probably the sickest thing I've heard him say.
Cool. Number 11, who is the best dressed, the suavest?
Young's got a bit. George Thompson's got a bit. Quiggs and his grey suit that he wears out on every occasion. He looks alright, but you can guarantee he wears it every occasion. I'd probably go for Youngie or George, I'd say.
Okay. And who's got the rankest threads?
Clarkey or Messiah. They come in some rascal gear.
Did you say Clarkey or Messiah?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's the best drinker? You might not have had a great deal of nights out, but who can really put it away?
Quiggs can drink, but he gets drunk quite quickly, to be fair. He cracks on all night. He's not too bad. He's partial to 1 or 17, I think. Probably go Quiggs.
Okay, and who's the biggest lightweight? Who has a panda pop and is steamed?
Probably me. Not a big drinker. I don't really drink. So I'll probably go me there. I'm quite boring when it comes to the drink.
That's very honest of you.
Yeah, well, I'll only be lying, and the lads will have me anyway. So might as well be honest. And yeah, I'll say I'm the biggest lightweight.
Okay, who is the best dancer? Who can pull some shapes?
Probably Quiggs again. He's got a little move that he calls the slut drop. He's got a little move he calls the slut drop, so that's quite interesting to watch. Yeah, I'll probably say Quiggs again. To be fair, he's dominating this.
Who is the worst dancer?
Duffers. He's dancing like he's got earphones in. If you're in a nightclub and you've got your own little beat going on, Duffers, you'd think Duffers has got his earphones in. He's so offbeat. He's the stiffest man alive.
Who is the hardest player?
Weeks. I don't think it's hard. I think it's just thick. I don't think it's toughness. I think you just literally don't know what he's doing, and it's just. I think if you haven't got a brain, you can't get hurt, really, can you? If you haven't got feelings, he's that thick. I don't think he actually thinks what he's doing.
Who's the coming towards the end? Who's the biggest sick note or the most injury prone?
Oh, I'll be calling the kettle on eye if I didn't go for myself there.
Yeah.
I've had a few injuries. So I'll have to go me. And I do actually take more anti-inflams than anybody else to try and get through a game. And I'm probably the stiffest man after the game. And I'll probably feel the worst the 2 days after. So yeah, probably me. Okay,
I think question 2 may have eventually answered question 19. Who's the biggest moaner?
Me.
You?
I'd say I'd moan, yeah.
Moan more than Duffs, who's the worst trainer and moans?
Yeah. When you say moan, what do you mean? Moan about the game in general?
Just the biggest. Whoever's whinging before the game, during the game, after the game.
Yeah. Me and him would be really close, to be fair. Me and him moan. Me and him moan a lot. I think it might be something with our age, because old, aren't we, and just moaning. Yeah, I moan a lot, and so does he, to be fair. It'd be very close. I'd probably give it just to, just him by a nose, or by a belly.
By belly. And finally, who is the most popular? Who's the teammate's teammate, in the middle of everything, the one who's just the guy that everybody loves?
This is going to sound very cliche, but we all get along so well. There's such a good spirit there that the manager and his staff, Neil and Rossi, are put together. That there's no one that's And there's no one that don't speak. As I said, the only two that have a bit of a problem is Hawley and Belly. That's regarding their hair. So apart from that, everyone gets on great. Everyone gets on that you could go for a beer with anybody and you wouldn't feel like you're forcing a conversation. So no, I'd say we all get on great. Obviously, Quiggs is in the middle of everything because he wants to get involved. But anyway, I'd say everyone's friends with everyone, to be honest.
Happy Friday, West Norfolk sports fans, and welcome to another Fury on Friday. And what a period of time we've got. Ladies and gentlemen, there's only 2 more games to go. Both of them at home at the Linsport Arena. Both of them on Saturdays. The first one tomorrow at 6 p.m. and then followed by next Saturday at 6 p.m. both at Linsport. Ladies and gentlemen, you really have to get on this. Not for 10 years has Kings Lynn seen anything like this on the ball court. We have got the most amazing team being recruited from all over Europe. Some of these guys are absolutely top-class ballers, and they're playing here in Kings Lynn and West Norfolk just for your entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow we're up against the league leaders, BC Medelinas. They're a Lithuanian team from London, and with what we've got up our sleeve and what we know our fans can do, we believe that we will have the place rocking. We will be singing and shouting from the stands tomorrow. We've got drums and we've got flags. We've got the EA cheerleaders. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to get down there for party time. It's full-on family entertainment from 6 p.m. tomorrow when James Banfield and his men take to that court. You want to get behind them. You become the sixth man, ladies and gentlemen, and we will rock the place down.
It's gone in 60-second time. Kings Lynn Town, who in the past week have drawn 2-2 with Trafford and won 2-1 at Droylsden, visit fellow playoff hopefuls Ashton United tomorrow. New signing goalkeeper Ashley Timms will keep his place in the side with Alex Street still suspended. The latter, however, should be eligible when Lynn visit Wroxham in the Norfolk Senior Cup semi-final on Tuesday. Wisbech Town host Northampton Sowerby Rangers in the United Counties League Premier Division just 1 week before they visit Sholing in the FA Vars quarter-finals. The Fenmen haven't played a game for a variety of reasons since they beat Hadley United in the national competition on February the 15th. In motorsport, Tid St Giles' George Russell is set to make the transition to single-seater racing, having just turned 16. Finally, in rugby, Swaffham visit Ipswich YM in Green King Eastern Counties Division 1, while Wisbech host Wymondham in a massive game in the London North East Division 3 relegation battle. EC1 table toppers West Norfolk are without a fixture. There you go, there's all your week's latest sporting news. As ever, that brings an end to this week's West Norfolk Sports podcast. A huge thank you to Gary I Love Twitter Mills for coming on this week, chatting away for a good half an hour about life in the past, in the future, and his current time with Kings Lynn Town. So thanks, Gary. Hope everybody enjoyed listening to that and the rest of the podcast. Once again, most importantly, thanks to you for listening, and we'll be back the same time next week.